Well, bloody hell, mate.
Well, a load of shit that video. Well, that was no good, was it?
No, I don't know if that's because Bren's that sat in like somebody's shed trying to do a podcast.
So, welcome to this very special edition and season review of the Premier League. So, we are ought to know better, and we are having a look at this season. But this is not a review of the ought to know better from the season. This is a review of the football, and we're going to be doing a review of us and our shit takes and our amazing opinions and everything that you tune in for in our next podcast. So this one is about the season. So we're going to get straight into it, and we'll get some of the shit out of the way, and we'll talk about the negatives from the season. So I think everybody's going to join me in saying COVID can fuck right off. I think. Oh, I got a minute. Carl's fucked right off.
Silly Carl. I didn't know his nickname was COVID.
Wow, what a start that is, eh? So anyway, COVID can fuck off. Low points for us. We had the scum defeat. That sticks out, doesn't it? It's. Yep. I think it was the biggest defeat of the season, and it's probably the one that if you'd have asked Leeds fans which they wanted to win, they might have picked out that one. But it is a Crawley and Hull in the cups. We didn't really.
There's actually a lot more lows when you think about it. Like when you've had a bit of a sleep and a think on that. There's actually a lot more lows than what there is fucking that you remembered. You know what I mean? I forgot Crawley Town was this season. They even brought fucking Mark Wright up for a minute cameo.
Yeah, Mark Wright played against Bielsa's Leeds.
That's got to be one of the lows, hasn't
it? VAR in general, but I just wanted to point out the Bamford decision at Palace, with the pointing at his sleeve, and then 2 weeks later when was it Dean? He's the ref. He's then pointing at it for saying it's not a problem, and so VAR can fuck off, and Mike Dean can fuck off, and another one is the lack of recognition for Leeds players. From an England perspective, Bamford and Harrison, particularly, I know Calvin's in, even though he kind of put a little bit of a risk on that, but Calvin's in. Ayling you can half understand, I think, guys, from a perspective.
You've already got fucking five right backs.
Exactly. Well, we're back down to 4 again now, so we might, but I still don't suspect we're going to see him. Leeds being everybody's second team were a bit of a low for me because we like to be hated, and finishing as low as 9th. So from an examples perspective, I'm going to leave it there. So Carl, I'll come to you first. Are you picking one of them out? Have you got any of your own? Where's your mind on the lows and negatives from this season?
Well, on a personal note, a negative would be that we finished 9th and not 4th and fucked my bet up. So I'll be honest with you, that's the only negative I really have, apart from obviously we had to make a stand against the Super 6 and all that jazz and whatnot. But earn it on the pitch. But no, I'm overall, I'm very, very happy with how the season went. I think everyone kind of would have been happy with a 14th or 13th place finish, and to get 9th. And I was looking at the table the last day, and we lost against Brighton home and away and Wolves home and away. If we'd have won 2 of them and got 2 draws, we'd have been up in 5th. And that's just the fine margins that we have. We dealt with this year, and it's really nice to be disappointed finishing 9th with the way, I think everyone had the feeling we might finish a little higher. But I overall I was happy, man. I'm very happy with how it went.
That leads nicely on to more what I was actually going to say, Carl, because I think you look at. I think the biggest low is obviously you got to look at the scum game. You don't want to get hammered by anybody. Never mind scum. So, but the other one is the potential that we could have actually been in the European places, and not even joking about that. It's actually realistic. Wolves have had a shit season, as have Brighton, but they've both done the double overs, as you rightly said. But that's got to be. I mean, that's got to be the real low, and it losing to the shit teams. But having said that, on the flip side, you'd rather lose to those teams and go beat teams like Man City and have an ultimate high. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's shit after a Leeds loss, and especially against fucking Brighton or somebody else irrelevant. But you wouldn't ever substitute a loss against them to a loss if you could beat one of the big teams. Is what I'm trying to say. I think.
I think so. Yeah, like we played well against the big teams, and we didn't lose at home to them all season, which was, I think, testament to how we were set up and played. Like, and it was nice to see Bielsa kind of evolve the tactics that we use, but kind of understand that the Premier League isn't like South America or France or something, and that you do need to kind of relax it at the back a bit more. And it was good to see that over them 6 games at home that we did develop quite well as a defensive unit as well, from the first one we played. Like,
agreed.
Right then, Bren, come on then. let's pop that cherry.
Right. Have we got a fanfare? Something to play.
For me, right, the main downs, I think, were not far from what you've just been saying, but to get beat twice by Wolves with a couple of lucky goals and stuff, get beat twice by Brighton, But we can.
I told you that Potter's an absolute mastermind.
Yeah, absolute mastermind. I won't be picking back over ever again. But yeah, I mean, of course, scum game, but that happens, doesn't it? We've only just come up. We've got to learn again, haven't we? So it's one of them.
Fair enough. So I don't want to, after such a season that we've had, I don't want to focus too much on the negatives. So we'll move on, and I'm not going to give it quite as many examples of this, because I'm hoping that you've all got your own highs. But just a few. Initially the Liverpool curtain raiser. Those were the games that we were looking forward to when we got promoted, aren't they? Being able to play against the sides that are featuring regularly in the Champions League is really what we were looking forward to. So we were in a position where a lot of people will have been looking at that game to go, well, go on then, Leeds, show us what you've got. What's going on here? You're talking yourself up. You've won the championship as a canter. Come and show what you've got. And we did. We showed. I know we got beat on the day. And do you know what? Even if you just look at the rules now, it'd have been 3-3 taking away the handball, because that wouldn't be a handball now. So we showed that we were there to do more than just make up numbers, and that set the scene for me. It set the bar, and that bar was we're here to entertain and we're here to play good football, and I think we did. And in terms of playing against Champions League sides, I think the City game for me, not the obvious one, the not so obvious one, where 20 minutes in, actually, I was shitting myself because it was a De Bruyne show, and it was just imperious for that first 20 minutes, and we couldn't get anywhere near him. And then all of a sudden, Calvin and Click, to be fair to him, found a way to get into the game. And you're all right.
Who, me?
You're all right, yeah.
Yeah, no, my arms are absolutely fucking killing from gym. I can't straighten them properly. So 15 minutes in, I'm thinking, God, this is going to be a tonking. 5-10 minutes later, actually, you're thinking, actually, we've done something here. We've made a difference. There's a change in our approach here. And Calvin finding his way into that game showed his maturity and his capability of being able to adapt. And I think that was a big deal as well. And we're so reliant on him, aren't we? Battering West Brom and Newcastle. I mean, we absolutely mullered them. We spoke about the scum game. Well, those games, we scored 5 in each of them, either side of that. Putting Bielsa burnout to bed. That's quite nice. I'm going to stop talking. I think that's got to be one of the positives this season. There's got to be the myth busting on it. We burn out. We tire. We haven't got a plan B. I think my biggest positive was the second half of the season. and being able to show that we're adaptable and we're not just in a gung-ho fucking go for all for nothing Leeds United's Bielsa side, but that he has actually got a plan B and we can defend when we need to defend. I think the last sort of 8, 9, 10, 11 games showed that. I think we conceded something like 7 goals since Chelsea right up to the end of the season. So, it's just I think certainly my positives. I mean, there's loads in there. I mean, you can go with the camaraderie that you see in the dressing room, on the training field, and that. It's just a real. The club's been run fantastically at the moment, which is really, really nice to see. He's getting the right people in, which he's showing the right levels of passion that Leeds fans want to see. I'm talking about sort of Rads and Angus and Victor. So in terms of positives, I think there's not much different from what you said, Matt. But all in all, I think my main positive was seeing how that team could adapt from being a gung-ho score 5, concede 6 to actually we can knock it about a bit, and we can defend a bit, and we can go and nick a 2-1 away win at City.
So how much of it do you think was the adaptability of the team, and how much of it was new signings settling in, new signings getting fit? You know, we talked about the defence earlier in the season, but we'd signed 2 international centre-backs that weren't available to us together. How much of it was that, and how much of it was availability of the players?
So I mean, probably a good mixture of the two. In fairness, I think Diego Llorente was probably our best player for the last 10, 11, 12 games of the season. And as you speak about signings, then I'm sure people will probably disagree, throw some stats up saying actually there was better fucking players. It probably was, but what I'm saying is he actually felt like it was natural. And he'd been there for longer than half a season. So I think both of those things that you said. So yeah, probably. I mean, Rafinha came into his own as well. Second half of the season, you've probably got to say. And yeah, I think all around it was probably a healthy mixture. I think Bielsa probably did change up the coaching, and we saw that because we went from even teams like Brighton, where we probably would have gone and had 70-80% possession. We actually they matched us for possession. Yeah, we lost that game, but what I'm saying is it installed a new sort of mentality, I think, that they've not had for over the last few seasons because we've been in the Championship and the first half of the Premier League. I think he thought, actually, you know what, this is not no fucking Mickey Mouse. We can't just go up and play the same way because we will get fucking tonked every week. We do need to learn to defend a bit. But yeah, definitely with the new signings as well.
Cool. Okay, Brian, come to you.
I mean, nobody's mentioned Bamford's hat-trick yet, have they?
Nope, not yet.
I love that. I mean, how much shit did we get from Villa?
Yeah.
Last, a couple of seasons, and that was just icing on cake on it.
It was quite good, quite delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it his second or his third? That was the best.
The third, where he was surrounded by 4
The what? Sorry, Carl.
Yeah.
Which one,
Third.
Carl? The third. All right.
The third one, yeah. The third one, yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
It was all right. It was pretty
Tell
good.
you what, though, I've enjoyed seeing Strike. Come on, how great is he now? Brilliant,
He's been savage.
All that pressure on him, with injuries and stuff. He's been forced to come in and he's been brilliant. He's absolutely come on this season. Absolutely.
And like we mentioned before, we got the Liverpool game and setting the scene for the season. He came in there after. Didn't Cooper get injured just before the game? Stepped in without any forethought of the fact that he were going to be playing, and played really well in that game.
Yeah, I mean it's still no CDM, but
No,
I was just about to say same.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Totally different player in the two positions, Bren, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was pretty much like prime Maldini when he was playing centre back, and then when he was playing central defensive midfield, he was like
Eric Jemba.
Good call.
Get in.
No way.
It's like the stats jingle all over again.
Jesus.
No, we're glad I'd forgotten about him.
Oh,
Wow, so good they named him twice.
Jesus.
Fucking shite, they named him twice.
We've just had a nice message in from Matthew Blake, which is Jimmy the Ref. Those of you that do tune in, you will know who Jimmy the Ref is. Really enjoyed the podcast with you, Ireland. I understand he's going to talk with Bamford again. All the best, boys. Enjoy the summit, and Jimmy the Ref.
Cheers,
That's
Jimmy.
good playing for Ireland. Cheers, Jimmy.
We
Make
will,
it that then.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. If he's
England
been
have pissed all
overlooked.
over him after such an amazing season, then why not?
Yeah, yeah. And like, what's the worst that can happen? He plays a few internationals, and doesn't win anything. He could do the same with England. So it's all right.
But at least he'd
international
go to a
football.
major tournament, Carl. That's the difference.
It makes no fucking odds to me, lads. Yeah.
Right, Cal, we'll come to
Yes.
you then. Highs for the season.
Highs for the season. I'm going to do them in kind of categories. Bamford's hat-trick against Villa to shut them the fuck up. Definitely up there. Definitely up there. I want to give a quick nod to Jamie Shackleton, who against Villa came on last minute, played the role, did a banging job, came on for Struick to kind of take him off before he got sent off. Thrown into it after 20 minutes. Fair play, Jamie. You did a banging job that day, and there's probably more to come from you. But I think the results at home, like I said earlier on, against the Big Six, were some of the highlights, regardless of whether we lost or whether we drew or won. I think to get those kind of results against them, to kind of go, we're not just here to make up the numbers. We're here to show you what's what. Like, you know what I mean? So that was a big thing for me. I really enjoyed watching us this year, and watching Rafinha make an absolute tit out of Gary Cahill was absolutely fantastic. And I'll be honest with you, I've watched that clip. I can't even count the times I've watched it, but every time I watch it, I'm like, if he only did it a yard closer, it would have been a penno. And not that we needed it against Palace at home, but it would have been just nice for him to go, oh shit, I've done him here, but there was that, and then there's the lack of what was nice and in a positive manner this season compared to, say, before Rads took over. There was a lot of positive media coverage about Leeds, and the only bit of negative coverage came when a certain pundit, and I use that term loosely, said we got promoted because of COVID. That was the only time we were in the media in a negative light.
I also just want to point out that an ex-player of ours wholeheartedly agreed with her at the time, and they can both get in the fucking bin.
Yeah, get in the sea and never come back. So I like, overall, I'm absolutely buzzing with the season we've had, and just to be able to get back inside there now next season is just going to be fantastic. So it's going to be brilliant. Can't wait. But yeah, overall, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I thought Dallas, highlight of the season. I know Bamford's done quite well and bits and bobs or whatever, but highlight for me was just the way Dallas absolutely bossed every position that he was able to be put in.
All 8 of them.
Yeah, all 8 of them. It's all right, Bren. It happens to everyone at least once. Gilly has the power, so it's okay.
No,
They're not coming for me.
with an ambulance going past, wasn't there?
They're not coming for me.
So yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to next season. See who we sign, and the Victor was on the Phil Hay show saying that he wants it all done by the end of June.
Other podcasts are available.
Other podcasts are available. Oh, look, you know what I mean.
Whose side are you on?
Well, I'm here, haven't I? So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to next season, and the fact that Victor said it's all going to be done by the end of June is positive, because he wants the players in for a full pre-season with Bielsa. So positives at the end.
Well, actually, that really nicely leads me on to the next subject. So well done, Carl. You've done really well there.
Thanks.
Signing of the season, and Carl, I'm going to come straight back to you.
It's as if he already knew.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy that.
Yeah.
Signing of the season.
I'll say the same one.
Secret Freemason meetings you'll have been having at that.
I guarantee we're not all going to say the same one. Now that might
don't
interest
think
some
so,
people,
yeah.
but go on.
I won't be.
Yeah. Go on.
Go on.
Go on.
I'm going to be perfectly honest and say, even though I didn't give him man of the match in one thing and I was fucking absolutely slated for it, I'm going to go with Llorente because the improvement he brought to the defence in the second half of the season, and a lot of our results in the second half of the season were down to him being solid and showing what he's all about and why he's a Spanish international. I know Rafinha was absolutely banging, no denying that, but from a defensive point of view, we were all really worried how we might get on in the Premier League, and to get the likes of Llorente and Koch, even though they never really played together much, but just Llorente's influence at the back, even when Cooper was out, to be able to just guide Struick, even though he'd never played games at the club before, I feel as a signing of the season, for me, it's Llorente.
Are you saying that he could guide Streak, but he couldn't guide Koch then?
No, they never really played together.
Oh, come on, Carl. Like you were going to give that an actual
He was going to give a
answer.
proper answer, wasn't he?
It's been a long
Right,
day,
Luke, for
lads.
that, I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
So I was between two, and it was actually obviously between three. Rafinha was. Well, there's a lot more. There's a few more than that, but Rafinha added obviously that little bit of difference, a little bit of spark. But he wasn't my player of the season. I was going to follow Carl, and then I thought again about it, and I've gone with Meslier for my signing of the season. Just for a young, he's come in, he's broken so many records for a young kid to come in, and we've paid absolutely nothing for him in terms of transfer fees, and he's literally just come in. He's commanded the area. He's pinging the balls around like he's been doing it for 30 years. He's been a breath of fresh air, and it came at a time and in a position where we've been struggling probably for certainly a few seasons, and I think he's added. You don't actually worry every time a ball goes anywhere near the 18 yard. You don't actually panic as much because you think actually he might save it. We've got a good chance he might save it. So
we might not concede.
We might as well have just put like loads of fucking like prizes on like coconuts behind the goal before. Just let people shoot, because fucking some of the keepers we've had have been absolutely terrible. So yeah, for that reason and that reason alone, record breaker Ilya Meslier for me.
Okay, thank you very much. Bren, come to you with a gob full of smoke. What's your answer? Sign of the season.
I'm stuck now.
You can go. You can agree with one of them. Just if you agree with Mez, he's going to piss all over you.
He's going to gloat. He's going to
say you're entertained, to be fair.
Oh, you can agree with Carl. Carl's nice. No offense, Luke.
I think
I don't profess.
I think Happy.
I'm a C-bomb.
Haffina.
We believe. I think he was supposed to be. Everyone's ranted and raved about him, haven't they? And there's all this transfer rumours and shit about him now. He's been brilliant, but Llorente, he struggled with injuries and stuff when he first came in, and for me, he's battled through that, and he's absolutely been an absolute baller. To be fair, when he's this back end of the season, an absolute baller.
Yeah,
I think
I can't disagree.
He knows that. He clearly knows how to defend the ball, but he knows how to play one as well. And he can find that man. 30, 40, 50 yards upfield.
Just like Cooper.
Yeah, just like Cooper.
So I'm just going to run through the signings that I had a look on Transfer Market. There might be some others. There might be some mistakes. I didn't fact check any of it. I just had a look on Transfer Market, to be fair. So Hafinia, 17 million. Harrison on loan. Llorente, 18 million. Koch on 12 million. Meslier on 5 million. Rodrigo on 27 million. Costa on 16 million. Now, Costa was a surprise to me. I thought we'd signed him the season before, but that might have been the end of the season. We made his loan a permanent move.
Brilliant. Yeah, same as Harrison this time, I believe.
I'm not going with any of them, and I fully expect that you will all change your answer to mine when I tell you who mine is.
Don't fucking say Bielsa and be a cop-out.
Bielsa!
Oh, what a
Right it
dick.
is.
That's not a signing.
It's not
Yes, it is.
happening,
He only
man.
signed at start season.
You're not
That's
doing
bullshit.
that.
Nah,
No,
you're picking a player.
can't do that, man. That's absolute horse manure.
I'm gonna go with Harrison because I think that
haven't signed
we signed him on loan.
Okay.
We signed him on loan.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you that.
I'm not allowed my answer, so I'm gonna. But no, I think Harrison has done a really. So we've had him now three seasons, and he's improved so much through that period. I can't wait to see what he's going to do next. But I think this season, Rafinha looks magic on the ball, and you're right. Against Crystal Palace, he ended a career. Yeah. And he is what we love to see. He is magic on the ball. He does those things that other players might not see, might not be able to do, even if they can see. He's got the vision and the capability. And I think that's kind of taken a bit of the shine away from what Harrison's done this season, which has, for long stretches of the season, been our outball, is our outlet. We know that he's got an amazing first touch, and therefore every time he kills that ball dead and it's straight into his stride, or the first time passing to somebody else, we go, well, yeah, because it's Harrison and that's what he does. I'm going to extend that out a little bit and say we're also really spoiled in having Phillips in the middle. He's such a good player and he's such a baller and he bosses that midfield so well. That's fully what we expect. And in actual fact, he should probably be our player of the season.
That's
just because he's that good. But Harrison, for me, achieves the same level of consistency. He's not the same level of player, I wouldn't say yet, but he's still got that growth to go into. But he's really consistent. And all right, his output is as consistent as his first touch. Not quite on the same level. His output still needs work, and that's where he can grow into. He's, the improving the decision making for the final ball and the crossing. But he's had a magic season. I really think he has.
That goal against Newcastle.
Yeah.
He's better than Adi Sacco. Is that what you're saying?
He is better than Adi Sacco.
He's got an end product.
Square it, Addy!
Square it. He loved that as well, didn't he?
So if I'm not allowed to pick Bielsa, I'll pick Harrison.
I couldn't disagree with that. Now, to be fair, it's quite a good one.
Moving on from there, then, as we'll come back round to what I've just saying is player of the season. Now, I reckon we almost have to discount one player here because he's been Superman for the entire season in 19 different positions. But so I'm not going to say anything at this point. We all know who our player of the season is, and I'm just going to come round the room. And Bren, I'm coming to you first. So, on the spot, player of the season, who's your boy?
Bamford.
Okay.
Picked it up.
Okay.
Took it to another level.
Okay.
Everyone doubted him. He can't do it in Premier League. And I think he's pretty much shown that he can.
Do you remember David O'Leary's tweet? I think it were about half an hour after we'd been promoted. Right, now Leeds are going to have to sign a number 9 so that they can compete.
There wasn't just him saying that, though.
No, absolutely not.
Everybody said that. Even the Leeds United fucking coaching staff, I think, because that's why we signed fucking Rodrigo. Trust me.
Spent nearly 30 million on a striker.
I don't think that anybody expected. I think you're right, Bren. I don't think anybody expected that from Paddy this season.
Nobody did. Nobody did. I mean, it might have helped him with no fans at stadium. Might have helped him. I don't know, but I hope that's not what's.
We'll soon find out.
Brought his confidence on and stuff. But,
well, no, even if it did, it might have helped him in that period. But now he's proven that he can do it. He'll be able to carry that confidence forward anyway. So regardless of whether it helped him or not,
with a bit of luck, I mean, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. But yeah, I'll go for Bamford.
Bamford. Luke, who's your man?
It's going to be. I thought this was actually going to be a unanimous vote, actually, but you can't look past, the lad from Cookridge, Stuart Dallas. I mean,
I thought we were kicking him out of equation.
I kind of in the introduction I said we almost have to.
Well, we do, but I think it'd be rude to go through this part of the podcast without giving him a mention, you know. And if we're choosing without Stuart Dallas, I think just his work rate and he's just something about him. He's come from Brentford and he was second or third choice at Brentford when we signed him, and he's literally probably the first name on the team sheet now for Bielsa. Whereabouts on the team sheet we don't fucking know, but he's there. Discounting Mr. Cookridge, Mr. Leeds, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to go with. I mean, it's probably again going to be relatively unanimous, but Calvin Phillips, earning his first England cap, solid as a rock. We looked such a better team with him in the side, up until the last couple of games. In fact, actually, where he popped Cock in there and who did a relatively good job. He's no Calvin Phillips, but he did an all right job. I just think he breeds confidence. The players play a lot better around him. There's so much more. We seem to have so much time when he's playing because he just reads the game so well. So yeah, first choice would have been Stewie D, and then Calvin Phillips for me.
Okay, Carl, where are we going?
Obviously, I've kind of shouted and roared for Stewie Dallas most of after Christmas, so it'll be a turn for the worst if I went against him. So I'm going to go with Stewie, but it's followed closely by Calvin. I think he
all said Smarty.
Player of the season, Robin Good and Dallas, right? Oh, right. So I
sounds like me and you might be wrong, Carl.
Go on,
everyone apart from us is saying Bamford.
Look, at the end of the day, right, people questioned Phillips, and I saw a stat online there on Twitter, and it was some Southampton fan was trying to shout the praises of Ward-Prowse, and he put up stats, and up to a point, they were kind of level here and there, and, you know, Ward-Prowse had a few more, but then it had backward passes. Now, we all know Calvin's been slated for his backward passes. Well, Ward-Prowse had 630-odd backward passes, whereas Calvin all season had 347. And then Ward-Prowse had 300 and something forward passes, and Calvin only had something like 284 backward passes. And you're kind of looking at these guys going, you don't watch football. You just sit there and whinge about players that you think you know stuff about, but you haven't a clue. And then he just proved that he was an idiot, and that's why Calvin is a very, very close second to Dallas for me.
Fair shout. I think I'm agreeing with where you're falling down on this, guys. It is Dallas for me. I think where he came from.
It was Dallas for me as well.
No. I think what we're saying is we've given it a clean sweep. I think we all agree. So, Dallas won the player's player, the player, and the goal of the season.
Who got coach's player? Do you know?
I don't remember that being mentioned as an award. I saw that Dallas won the player's player and the player of the season. And the goal of the season. I don't remember that being an award. The coach's player.
Who got most improved?
Clubman of the year. That when you get a tiny little trophy.
I'm taking piss.
I was gonna say it there.
When I was a kid, you got most improved, and it was like basically you're shit, but you done all right.
Our club called it Clubman of the Year, and it was a tiny little trophy the size of your thumb.
The clubman was the person who helped out the most, so basically the person who carried all the kits and the boots and that.
So, I suppose giving honourable mentions. Struijk again played really well this season. Meslier won the Young Player of the Season, so I think that is richly deserved. It really is. Ayling made more progressive yards with the ball at his feet than any other player in Europe's top 5 divisions. I believe it is top 5 leagues.
Yeah, more than Messi.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with Bamford. Fully, richly deserves any praise he gets, just purely on the principle of the fact. And one of my lows was the Palace game. That was a perfectly good goal. that's not the only one where he was robbed by VAR. So yeah, he should have even been a bit better in terms of his stats. I do think we get spoiled a bit by Calvin because he's that good. We just expect that much from him now. So there's a bit of that. I'm going. Dallas is my player of the season. My follow up to that is Calvin, because we just I don't like using the term reliant because we kind of made it work without him when we had to. But he makes such a massive difference to the way that we can play that I feel that he's so important to us. And again, he proved that. And not only did he prove that, but he proved that in the Premier League. He proved that against some of the best midfielders in the world. And he did so from a position where, like I mentioned earlier, that De Bruyne looked imperious for the first 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden Calvin were all over him, and that was it. It changed the way that he would approach in the game, and he'd learned from that. And I think he's done that through the season, and we can't. I don't think you can really underestimate the value that he brings to the team. So for me,
who are you going for?
Calvin. Calvin's my second. Dallas is my first.
He makes us tick.
Copy you.
Hey, I'm a nice guy.
Get it comments, folks. Get it comments.
Yeah, get it comments.
If you know me, please don't comment.
So, moving on then, Dallas did win goal of the season as well as player and player of the season. He won it for the Man City goal, the winning goal at Man City. Do you guys remember enough of the goals, or would you like a bit of a recap of the ones that I quite like?
I've got my goal of the season.
Go on then, in you go.
So, mate, I've already mentioned it, and it was the way Jack Harrison took. I think it was the third at Newcastle. Was it the third? Was that going to be yours, Brad? Don't you be copying that.
Oh, no.
Was it running from his own half and popping in top bag?
I think
that's it, mate. I mean, in terms of value, it didn't mean all that much. The game was won, but in terms of sort of fucking techers and that, I was striking a ball like that in the 80-something minute, I think it was. He just fucking smacked it. It was unreal. It was my goal of the season. I don't think, realistically, if anybody says anything different, you're probably lying.
So I'll just read out the notes I'd made on that goal. Harrison's pitch length run and smash it in the top corner would have Sky creaming themselves even now had that been a scummer.
Yeah. Exactly.
Can't argue it. It's written there.
If that was Penandes, they'd be showing that on Match of the Day now. That'd be they'd have implemented that into the start or the running, the intro. But because it was him, it's overlooked. That goal was fucking unreal.
Yeah, well. Yeah, and to have that much time to think about it and still be able to execute it like that, it is. And
hitting it on the run as well. To hit it, it was moving fucking quickly as well. In the same direction of the ball to get such a clean strike and top bins, fucking amazing.
Cool, yeah. Bren. Bit of crossover there.
Right, I can't go for that now, can I? So.
Everyone's copying me today.
We can't all agree with him.
He's stealing your thunder,
Ben. I'll go for
Bren.
Right, I'll go for Rafinha versus Everton.
The daisy cutter.
Yeah.
First game.
Megs as well, wasn't it?
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Lovely, beautiful goal, but it seemed to bring him out of his shell a bit as well. I think that's what kicked him off for a good season. That I think once he got that, he was on fire. And after that, every game he played, his touch got better and better, and he got a bit more confidence. He were dancing around Cahill and and whoever else.
That wanker prick, Gilly ought to know better. Got off his back for giving ball away. That sort of thing.
Yeah. That eventually faded into the dust. It's nice that you. Don't
get me wrong, he did give ball away quite quick, didn't he? It starts.
Yeah.
But give him that bit of confidence. I think, that was enough for me. I think, I'll go for that.
Okay. Yep. Fine. Carl.
I'm going to be a bit controversial and go with the Bamford third goal for his hat-trick against Villa. One of the reasons is the build-up to it was quite tasty. It came from KP, went out the wing. There was a bit of interplay between Costa and Shackleton, and then it was played into Bamford. And then to have 4 players around you and have the audacity to just look and go, I'm fucking putting it there. And that's the only place I can put it, but that's where I'm fucking putting it.
Yeah.
And just to do that, like the Bamford that we signed when we first signed him, none of us could have gone, yeah, he could do it, but he'll never fucking do it. Like, and then for him to pull it out in the Premier League against, well, I don't want to refer to Villa as an established Premier League side, because let's be honest, they were lucky to be there. They're there on a minor technicality.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't take away from Bamford's goal. Like, it was absolutely dinging. Like, like you were saying, if fucking De Bruyne or someone had scored Harrison's goal, it would be played all over Sky Sports and everything for months and years to come. But because it's Bamford and it's Leeds, it's just overlooked. And any striker in the world would be happy to put it where he put it, or even get a shot on target from where he was. And that's my goal of the season, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Can't argue it.
Definitely up there.
Was that the one when he was sort of tippy tapping around and he got it out of his feet from Mings? Was it?
Yeah.
I think, and just
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
scooped it in the top corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
He scored another good goal in that game, didn't he?
He did.
One
Second
from
one was a
outside
good
the
goal.
His second one was his second
Outside
one
the
was-
18-yard box, he absolutely leathered it. That he did a knuckleball on it, like.
And was it? Oh no, it wasn't. That was Chelsea. I'm thinking of when he let it run across. Oh, Leicester. Sorry, let it run across.
Oh,
him.
for fuck's
Yeah.
sake, Nez. Shut up.
Oh, sorry, mate.
The Bamford goal was very Ronaldinho-esque against Chelsea Champions League.
So,
Wasn't it?
He just
Let me
switched
come
it
Anyway,
up
back.
Matt, you
mine.
might as well not go.
Matt, what's your goal of the season, Matt?
So,
Can you remember any? Do you want me to help you out?
I was going to
You
go.
wrote down here.
I was going to go with Harrison's.
He's got them all written down.
I did have it written down. I was going to go with Harrison's, and then I was going to go with Bamford's against Villa, where he dug it out and smashed it in top bag. And then I was going to go with the fact that Rafinha scored against Everton, a daisy cutter with no backlift, and he banned it in the bottom corner when it felt like the points were slipping away. So they were my first 3. So my
What was your
one,
fourth?
I was going to come on
Copies
to,
everyone.
and then you stole that as well. No, so I won't go with the ones because I had 4 prepped. So yeah, Leicester. So Stroik stepped into midfield, won the ball, won it really cleanly, won it strongly, won it well, popped it straight into Rafinha, one touch from Rafinha into Bamford, let it run across him, banged it in top bag against Schmeichel, our ex-player, fuck him. Fucking scumbag son.
You're
So,
all
yeah,
right.
you know-
Your dad's a
No!
Close.
Who said that?
So yeah, you know, we have scored some cracking goals, and you know, Dallas winning the goal of the season for emotion, that might have been the one.
Yeah.
In terms
wasn't the best
of
goal, was
pure,
it?
in terms of pure emotion and the way that I felt when that went in after we'd gone down to 10, we're playing against 12. You know, it was just, it was inconceivable that we would go into that City game and beat them before kickoff. Then you go down to 10 men and you're thinking, shit, this could end up being a cricket score. Then the game builds and you've got, we kept Rafinha on one wing and Costa on another, and we were stretching the game, and any opportunity that we got, we were hitting the wings and they were running. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think we took Bamford off in that to try and keep the pace on the wings. And, you know, you take your striker off and you think, well, we're shutting up shop. Well, we don't shut up shop. That's not what we do. And to go from there to go on and win, you know, the emotion of that goal going in and them all running down to corner flag and Ayling come flying in and smacking Dallas. And
yeah,
it was amazing. In terms of the quality, I think that I think the goals that we've said are better technical goals.
Yeah.
Maybe on emotion, that's why Dallas won it for me.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
That's very understandable as well. Imagine if there was fans in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's, you know, we've got to come back to it a lot, but that's the real shame is they want 6,000 away fans in that stadium going absolutely crackers when that went in.
Can I just point out how bloody quickly did Meslier get down to that celebration?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
That's what he does, though,
wasn't
isn't
it?
it?
Yeah.
He was lightning. He
timed.
was, oh man.
He did that at Swansea, though, didn't he?
Yeah, I was just going to say, didn't somebody do a bit of a
Oh, sorry,
mock-up
did I
there?
take yours then?
So do you remember that time when? Fuck it, I'm not going to bother
Quicker
anymore.
next
That wasn't what I was going to say. Somebody did a mock-up of them both the runs and did the timing like as if like 100 meters, and I think he got there like a second quicker against City than what he did against Swansea.
No way, really?
I'll have to try and
That
find
was
it.
it.
If
Yeah,
anybody
that
can
would
find
be-
that, if anyone's got it, just send it over to
Yeah,
us.
that tweet it definitely went out. Yeah. Remember that.
Okay, so the last point I'd put together was just the team performance of the season. I think it's important to be able to recognise. So we mentioned a lot of them, and naturally we were going to, I suppose. But Man City in the home fixture, where we were able to turn around where they'd gotten top. Man City in the away fixture, obviously. Leicester.
Other way around. Other way around, I think.
No, Man City in a home fixture.
Yeah,
was
sorry,
Windsor
City away.
after 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Sorry, I weren't
City
listening
away
properly.
obviously was that doesn't surprise me, does it?
It's
I
got to
went
be
listening,
the
yeah.
season, hasn't it?
Didn't have 11.
I was almost falling asleep. Sorry, Matt.
Cheers, pal.
It's got to come
yeah,
in second half of the season, surely, hasn't it?
well,
Whichever game gets picked up
Leicester, we were getting beat,
with
and Leicester were going for Champions League. And, Bamford scored one of my favourite goals of the season. We beat them 3-1 on their own patch, having been 1-0 down. Spurs, absolutely. I mean, you're right. It was a VAR mistake that against Alioski for the penalty in the first match. But that second match, we absolutely tonked them.
Yeah.
We properly beat them.
but this is Bielsa's masterclass there.
Well, it is. Burnley are known for being a tight team that don't give much away. Beat them 4-0. Newcastle was shite when we beat them. Without the 5-2 or without the 5-0?
5-2
I get the
home, wasn't it?
Yeah, West Brom were 5-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Villa, they were talking big, and we tonked them. So, I've rambled enough. Carl, performance at season.
You've pretty much covered them all there. To be fair, but I thought,
give us a fucking chance.
just because you're prepared and all writing down and shit. I thought our
Just because you can write.
Yeah. I thought our performance against Everton away was fantastic. They were flying at the time. They
Don't whinge then. I didn't mention that one.
Hey.
So I'm mentioning it now, all right? I'm only mentioning it because you didn't mention it.
Hey, hang on a minute. Jay's cat's here. Jay's cat's here.
That loaded that cutlery dishwasher.
Hang on a minute. Coming to go in. Jay's back.
I've got a straw here. It's grand.
He's got a straw. I only use metal straws.
Fucking hell, that's deafening beer him.
All right. But yeah, I thought.
Fucking hell, come on, lads, we've nearly got
Get
there.
Bruce on it. Get Bruce
Right,
on it.
okay. I'll get Bruce. He's around here somewhere. He smells. I thought, yeah.
Harry Jumper Jumper.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh,
You're like fucking children, the pair of you. Like.
Okay.
I'm definitely having control
Carl.
of this at some point.
Before
Tell us
the
what's the
season-
best game.
You won't let me finish.
Carl,
Just tell us it was West Brom because you were there and shut up.
Wasn't trying to rub it in. I was actually trying to, be decent about it. But yeah, it was the West Brom game. I was there. Fuck you all. I don't care.
Fuck you all.
There you go.
Thanks, Carl.
You wanted me to say it. I fucking said it. I was there. Have it.
Rain, performance of the season.
For me, right, Leicester return leg, absolutely brilliant. We got annihilated by them at first half of the season, and then we took them back, and it just shows how well Bielsa looks at teams and sees how they play, and his tactic wise, his tactical play is awesome, isn't it? It's just ridiculous how he sees a game. And for us to come out as 3-1 winners in that second game, unbelievable.
Madness.
After we've been absolutely hammered in the first one,
And then go 1-0 down. To be able to turn it around as well.
Yeah. I mean,
it's almost a case of deja vu, wasn't it? I thought when we went 1 down against Leicester, I was almost like, fucking hell, here we go again. And you just almost expect to lose.
Well, this is it, yeah. After they'd whooped it first time round, it was one of those, wasn't it? But he had it all under that. He knew what was
down
coming.
That fucking pen, will you?
What to expect.
Was it? Who's that?
Put down that
We
fucking
know that's
pen.
you.
We know it's you.
I haven't got a
you
pen.
Daft bastard. You just put it on the desk. Sorry, Bren.
No, don't worry. No, but he knew what was coming, and he knew how to play it, against it, and just give it time, and it'll work. And he did that for most of the second half of the season,
We did. He did.
All in second
Can't
games.
disagree with that.
Second games. I mean, did we do worse in a return fixture this season? I'm not sure if we did.
Oh,
I
now
think-
you're putting me on the spot.
I don't
when
know.
you say
We'll have to get
worse,
stats on.
when you say
I think
worse,
we did.
we beat West Brom 5-0 in the first one. We didn't do that again. So
that's worse.
when you say we did worse, we didn't score as many.
No, but I mean points wise. So
Points wise, yeah.
Say first.
We'd have to see.
We've got beat, and then second game we've got a draw, like we did with Scum. So we've done better there.
Yeah, we'd have to see. I'm not sure. It's a good question. That anybody in the comments that fancies
Worth
chiming
checking
in?
out that. Something for stats.
Yeah, to get your stats on it. I'm going to agree with you, Brent. I think our best in terms of team performance and enjoyability to watch and everything. I'm going to agree. I think that Leicester performance was probably our best. In terms of but my team performance of the season is going to be quite obvious. It's the win at City. 10 men playing as a team. I don't think it was as good to watch for 80 odd minutes, but in terms of pure emotion and everything, it's definitely got to be that game for me. But in terms of the way the team played and enjoyability, watching it from start to finish and watching how well we played, Leicester, I'd totally agree with that. But I'm going to go for the City win with 10 men.
Oh, it's a fair shout. That's exactly where my money's gone. If I've got to hang my hat on one, to go to a side, and I can't remember what the stats were. Haven't they won something like 33 out of the 34 previous games?
Did 127 out of 28.
Right. So it's champions, and there were still, I think at that point, they were still realistically looking at 4 titles.
Quadruple, yeah.
At that point, and who bet against them doing it at that point because of the way that they were playing and the players that they have.
And
so
then
for
they
us
play
to
little
go there, for us to go there, and then go down to 10 men and come out with the 3 points is it's unreal. And I on that basis, with that context, that's where I'm going as well. I can't go anywhere else because it was immense, absolutely immense.
I don't mean to disagree with you boys. I thought it was a great team performance, but it wasn't 11 men on the pitch.
Which makes it
That's
even
one
more
of
of
the
an
reasons I picked it.
even more of a team performance.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to win this one, am I?
You're definitely not.
No.
It's like the start of some Englishman, Irishman, and Scottishman joke, isn't it? Where the Irishman's always in trouble and it's never the Englishman. Do you know what I mean?
Never was, no. Oh, Jesus.
I like your
let's go.
T-shirt, by the way.
Thanks very much, man. It's all right.
No, I was talking to Bren.
Fuck you.
Brent's got a very, very lovely T-shirt on.
Brent's got a Savage T-shirt on, and they are available.
Oh, no better, ladies and gents.
No, they're not available.
Or are they not?
So Mike's come in and told us that he thought the Spurs win was the best because we'd sorted out the back and had started to attack again, and there was a period where our chances were dropping per game. Great shout.
It is a great shout. Now, we may not be the best to judge that one in particular.
No, because we were all
fucking steaming.
Yeah.
So that might have featured a bit more had we not been so fucking bollocksed on that day. But it's a good shout. It's a fair shout.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout, Mike. I'll have to watch that game back a few times.
Yeah,
Mike,
on that game.
Yeah, Mike, I watched that game, Mike. I was here because I had the bleeding Berardi and Coke to do. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so did I on Greek Street.
You did.
We've had a question, boys. We've had a question. Where do you reckon we'll finish next year? Do you reckon we'll do better, or will we do a Sheffield United? Matt, what do you reckon?
Sheffield United.
Oh, so
I'm aiming for better, mate.
Better's an interesting one because nobody predicted us. We said earlier 13, 14, 15 people would have taken at start of season. I would have taken survival. And by hook or by crook, I would have taken survival at the start of the season to guarantee the capability to build. I think Leeds fans being Leeds fans, if we're not in European competition within the next 2 or 3 seasons, we'll see that as a major disappointment because that's where we want to be. I think if we can consolidate on the position and finish somewhere between 7th and 10th, that's a real achievement. I don't think that we'll do Sheffield United. If you look at Sheffield United and the bullshit side that they got up with, and fucking Chris Basham and the bullshit that they bought, spent 41 million on McBurney and Brewster.
Ollie McBurney.
Yeah,
Sander Berg was a decent signing, but they didn't match those signings, did they?
Goal between them or something.
They didn't. Yeah, one goal between them. No assists, I don't think.
They didn't match the ambition.
Sander Berg spent a lot of the season injured, and he was a big player for them. So, if we'd have spent... we spoke about Phillips and how important he is to us, and if we'd have spent a long period of the season, we may have struggled a bit more, and we may not have finished as high. But, I really... our squad and our coach, should he sign, caveated to say, should he sign... The squad that we've got and their squad that they had and the coach that we've got and the coach that they had are night and day. You can look at us now and think, yeah, they're a Premier League side. And therefore, if we finish below 12th, I'll see that as a bit of a disappointment. I don't see us finishing anywhere near the bottom 3. I mean, there's some absolute bobbins in our league.
Yeah, I think a lot depends on what happens this summer. Obviously, a lot of rumours floating around today about Rafinha. And where do we reinvest if we do sell? Where are we looking to strengthen? Does Alioski sign? Is he going to be first choice? There's a lot of questions that need answering before we can start. I mean, we know where we stand in terms of a foundation moving into next year because we've set that foundation, that platform this year in terms of where we want to be. I mean, we're a few wins out of Europe, weren't we?
Graham Smith put out today that there's been no contact between Liverpool and Leeds United.
I've seen
and
that.
All of the big clubs are going to want him. So of course they're interested.
Yeah,
they'll all want him because he's
some foreign guy in Italy or somewhere saying that.
How's he going to find out before
and stuff? But
before Graham Smith, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's bullshit. But there's always going to be those questions when a team performs so well over a full season, not just over a few games. We didn't just have a couple of spurts. We perform well all season relatively. So people are going to want our players playing for them because they work hard, they can play. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to come naturally. But I'd like to think that Rads has got us now to a level where we don't need to sell unless something stupid comes in, and it's about building that project that he keeps speaking about. He's had a 3-year and a 5-year plan, and working towards that is keeping all of your best players because you're not going to get better results without your better players. So my view is pretty similar to yours, Gilly. 10th to 6th, sneaking to Europe potentially next season is the ultimate goal, and I don't think that's out of the ordinary. Carl, where do you think we're going to? What we're going to do next season? Are we going to be doing a Sheffield United, or are we going to be aiming for improvement?
Well, I was kind of hoping, like, because it was 30 years since Liverpool last won the league, and it was exactly the last time we got promoted. I stupidly put a bet on saying we'd finish fourth this year and win the league next year. So I'm going to go with fourth next year.
Fourth.
Yeah, and
Not the title.
Well, no, we fucked it up,
Not
like,
yet.
if we didn't get fourth this year.
Yeah,
Like, so we'll wait till the year after then, like, it's a
Right.
cycle,
So fourth next season, and then the title.
And then the title, yeah.
Oh, we're building up. There's a trajectory there.
That's what we like. So slow and steady wins the race.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be honest with you. I'll go fuck it. I'll put my hat in the ring.
Let's
now
obviously
and go
improve at a
forward.
maintainable speed. You know what I mean? We're going to go from like, yeah, straight up to fourth for them first, obviously.
Not to run 100 real quick.
Man, we were only about 9 points off Champions League football this year. 3 wins against Brighton and bleeding Wolves. If we had 3 wins there, we were in Champions League football. So it's not unrealistic.
If my dog had wheels, it'd be a car.
No, he'd be fucking dead.
It's like there's a lot of ifs and buts, and no, he'd be fucking dead. I think obviously we've got to aim to improve, and I think I mentioned it earlier on personally that we've got those plans in place.
Did you ask Ben what he thinks?
He agreed with everyone else as per.
I did pretty much agree. Yeah.
He just copied what I said, Matt.
All night.
Sorry, Brent. We've had another comment coming from Mike. There are a lot of manager changes going on in the Premiership. I think that we'll do well in the first half until these sides settle, whilst we have a stable system already. Finish 5th to 8th.
Yeah.
Good way of looking at it. Never even looked.
Yeah.
Never thought.
I'll go with that.
Never really thought about it from that perspective. There are going to be some.
I think Bielsa's going to want to. He's not going to want to finish any lower than we have done this season.
No.
Yeah.
Bielsa.
That's right,
His
yeah.
aim
Is
to
Ancelotti
get
gone?
better and
Yeah.
better and
He's
better.
gone.
So
Gone. Right.
Gone back to
Gone.
Real.
Ancelotti's gone.
Yeah.
Real Madrid.
I think Nuno's in
big for them.
conversation with Everton, is he?
Yeah, that's a very good point what Mike makes there, because
Yeah,
there
he
is
has,
a lot
yeah.
of managers, there's a transition between clubs, and they're going to be a step behind us. Like Nuno, if he gets that Spurs job, he's not going in there, and they're not going to pull up trees straight away. No way.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No,
I wouldn't be
did he?
surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the big teams struggles this year.
Yeah.
If we have a big name really
Just as long as it's not
struggling
us.
next season. Well, we're massive. I said big.
Fair enough. I think I've got an answer to the question of did we struggle against the team in the second leg?
Okay.
We beat Villa in the first game, and we got beat by them in the second.
Yeah.
Overall, we beat them 3-1. Was it
I'll do.
3-0 in the game when Bamford scored an hat-trick? Was it 3-0? We lost 1-0 in the return, didn't we? So I think overall, we've won overall
On aggregate.
on balance, yeah. The second we won the first game and lost the second. So
Don't cover what I was saying, does it?
No, you were saying the opposite, Matt.
I obviously meant to say take out the Brighton and Wolves.
well, we didn't do
games as well,
better
right?
in the second game.
Yeah.
Was my point. We
No,
didn't
it
do
was
better,
asking.
and
It was
we got
asking. I
worse.
think it was asking. Was there a better improved performance in the second half of the season
Yeah.
than Leicester?
Oh,
I think
right,
he was
yeah,
saying.
Yeah, that's not what he was saying, but you've made him
No,
look
it's
better
not.
now. Thanks.
Yeah,
thanks,
you made
thanks,
it look
Wes.
better. Cheers, man.
I know.
Don't you
were
worry
asking,
about it,
and
Brent. Stick with me, you wear
Love you,
diamonds. Jonathan Woodhead has commented Spurs was the most complete. Going back to the team performance of the year, I think it was. City was the product of 3 years of Bielsa genius against probably one of the best teams on the planet. Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
disagree
Can
with
you?
that, Yeah.
Yeah,
At all, yeah.
can't
Not a
argue
bad
it.
take on it.
Spurs was an unbelievably complete performance. It was.
An unbelievable blur. Yeah.
Yeah,
In fact-
we're gonna have to take your word for it, Carl. I appeared on B&C, but I don't remember it.
You
Yeah,
did, yeah. You were there in the rain, and it was grand. It's grand. But no, it was. He's right, yeah.
So I do have one last question for you, and I'm going to put you all on the spot now. Is I want a score that you're going to give Leeds out of 10 for the season. Carl, out of 10,
Out of 10.
what are you giving?
I'd probably go about 8.5 out of 10.
8.5?
No, I think
he's
it
got
prob-
one.
Yeah, I think it
Why
probably could've-
0.5? Why not 8 or 9?
because it's going to shit your fucking stuff up now as well.
Maybe a
so it doesn't
9.5
matter.
in
Round
5
up
years' time.
or round down?
No,
Come to
because
me
it
next, Gilly.
irritates the fuck out of you. So I will do it. 8.5. I think if we had a fully fit squad at the start of the season, we could have potentially finished higher. Results might not have gone the way they went, like against the Scum and Liverpool. If we didn't have a 20-year-old centre back in there, he did really well. These kind of results. But overall, I like I said at the start of the pod, I'm extremely happy with how we got on. And probably the only thing that annoyed me was we didn't finish fourth, so my bet has a chance for next year. That's it.
Cool.
Thanks.
Brian, out of 10.
11. Because, the reason why is because everyone, bar Leeds fans, everyone thought we were going straight back down.
Did they though? Or did they just want to tell us that on social
I think a lot
media
of them
because
did.
that's what
I
they
think a lot
wanted?
of them thought, because nobody from Premiership watches Championship football.
Yeah.
No.
True.
So they didn't have a clue what were coming to it this season. And I'm going with 11 for that. Defo. I think, fuck them.
Fair enough.
Fuck
Fuck
it.
'em. Fuck 'em.
Can't count.
Luke,
11.
I'm going to go
all of that.
out of 10. I'll go 9.3761.
You're just a dickhead, aren't you? Why would you do that? At least I fucking kind of did it a bit more sensible than that. You're just being a bellend now.
No, I am going to actually go 9.5. And the reason I'm going to go 9.5 is I think as in terms of a squad and the results and the performance and how each player was side before self, and they put the team first. There was not one player that I can remember this season that spat the dummy out, and I didn't see one player slag another teammate off or anything like that. So based on that, I'm going to give it 9.5. The only 0.5 that I'm dropping is the loss at Crawley Town and bringing on fucking a Towie star, which just drops it down a bit. Fucking Mark Wright getting on for a minute cameo, that drops it from 10 and being able to gloat about it online as well, not just come on, but gloat about it and say that he played against Leeds United and won, which basically knocks it down from a 10.
Came on for.
Fucking not even that. I don't think
It wasn't much.
he had two appearances for him all season. One was against us, and then he's been released. Can you fucking believe that?
Well, imagine that. A fucking reality TV star released by a professional football club. Well, fuck
So
them.
based on that, I think the team themselves couldn't have given any more. It would have been a 10, but for that shite performance, that sort of lives and haunts me a little bit.
Fair
Good
enough.
to see you've got over Histon and all that. Then, yeah.
I was there at Easton.
ITV, a fucking shit. So, I'm unfortunately, because I'd already made my mind up before May started talking, I'm agreeing with him again. It's 9.5.
What's the point in this? We could have just had a chat in the fucking.
You should have just left me on. Why don't I just come on next time? I'll just talk to him, all my different personalities.
It'd be entertaining at least. For you, if nobody else, but even if you're only entertaining you, there's 1,000 of you.
Yeah.
No,
I still handshake.
It's one of them. To get to where we got to, it's just, it's one of them where the amount of points that we got, it was, I think, Ipswich 2001-2 season since anybody's got more points than we did. I know that other teams have finished higher. I think Wolves did, and maybe Sheffield United did in their first season back. They've been relegated again, by the way, just as a reminder.
Sheffield United, was it?
Yeah. So
You've been
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, it's awful, isn't it? To finish on the points total that we did, it's just it's amazing. It almost feels unreal, and the entire season almost feels unreal. If you think it was 10 months ago that we played Liverpool, in that opening game of the season, bear in mind, it'd only been a matter of weeks before that since we'd won the title, and it all just seems like a big fucking blur. The title win seems like years ago, and the Liverpool game seems like 5 months ago. None of it really computes. It's just been such a whirlwind of a season where we've been amazing, and then we've been battered by City and beaten by Crawley, and then we've been amazing again. And it's just I don't know. It's been an amazing season. So yeah, 9.5 is where I'm going, and I'd already decided before Luke said 9.5. By the way, or 9.312 or whatever it actually landed on. You can't even remember, can you?
No, he can't remember at all.
Yeah, no, I can.
Have you wrote down there? Have you? You look like you're miles away there. You are.
How far away there? Oh no, that's Jay, not Mez.
Yeah.
So, just one last thing to say is, 3 Retro is the retro football shop. I don't know if you know this, but it really is. They were born from the love of the game, from historical nights on the cold terrace, and from love of vintage shirts of a bygone era. From looking back at the football club you love, the greatest and worst moments, and remembering your heroes and their jerseys as they once were. Find the referral link and discount code in our social media accounts and in the comments and descriptions of Ought to Know Better podcast recordings for a 10% discount on the full range.
Plenty of England gear coming up for the Euros.
Some nice shirts on
England gear coming up. Some nice shirts on there. Hey up. You're gonna
what? The chuffing up then?
Brain damage there. What are you doing?
Sorry.
So, just any other business? We're at the end of the meeting. Any other business? Anybody got anything else that they want to add? Anything that you thought we'd talk about and we haven't?
Just one final thing. Obviously, we haven't had an opportunity within this podcast just to say thank you and goodbye to Pablo and Berra. So yeah, just I know they've probably not taken many of the plaudits this season, but they have been real squad players and really been part of this since over the last few years and this promotion push and getting us to the Premier League. Unfortunately, I haven't featured as much as probably they'd liked and probably we'd liked as well as fans. But
absolutely.
But yeah, just wish them all the best. And I know there's a few of us planning to go over if Pablo does go to, is it Castellón or something I think they're called?
That's the one.
And go over and watch him. So yeah, they're just a personal thank you from OKB to both of those for their service at Leeds.
Yeah, fair shout. Yeah, fully agreed. Couldn't agree more. Anybody else? Anything else you want to say?
I'd just like to. I don't know if I'm going to steal your thunder here now, Gilly, but I just
no, mate. I'm all done. Other than I'm just going to put up a banner for the charity shite that we're doing.
It's not shite, Gilly. It's a very worthy cause, and he's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. No, I'd just like to thank everyone for watching over the last couple of months. We've kind of thrown this thing together, and it's worked out really well, and I've enjoyed having this crack with all you boys, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to next season. But we can go from there. Should be fun.
Yeah,
sure indeed. And there we go. Luke's got it working now. There we go.
Yay! There you
It's a bit of a for anybody listening on the audio podcast. We're looking at some lovely pictures of Gaetano and Pablo at the moment.
Yeah.
Well done, Luke.
There you go.
And Bren, we'll come to you. Anything else? Any final words on your first ever podcast? Well done.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of this from the background, and I've helped out in the back, but yeah, great to finally be on, and that's it.
And may there be many more of them.
You've broken your seal now. You've popped your cherry. You'll be on all the time now. Be like, when we can do another podcast, man.
When's it my turn?
When am I hosting?
Just one final thought from Mike P, because I gave everybody a chance. That last thought was, what other club has a manager, team, fan base, and ownership all singing off the same hymn sheet? Can't think of many, and can't think of too many times it's happened at Leeds. Fair shout.
Yeah.
Unity is what Bielsa brings, because we all love him.
Side before self.
He
That's
is.
it. Every
Every
time.
time.
Changed the club. He's brought the club back to what it was before. You know,
Yeah.
like you say, side before self and all that.
He
That's it.
epitomises it, doesn't he? So
Does
it's-
100%.
it's
And
the
if, in
perfect
case you
match,
didn't
like.
know, of everybody, when we started this podcast, Matt said if we finished in the top half of the table, he was going to get an OKB logo tattoo on his chest with side before self every time around the logo.
Oh.
So we'll look forward to seeing that
said that?
over the next few weeks. Matt,
Matt did.
first tattoo as well.
And do you know what? I'd love to meet him. He sounds like a great bloke.
Who Bielsa? He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Back to your tattoo, though.
Whoever this Matt is.
All right, Gilly. Sorry,
I bet he
we mean
didn't spell his
Gilly.
name right. I'm not
Wicked.
sure I remember saying that, but you know.
I'm pretty sure I've got it written down. If I can't find it, I'm sure the lads will back me up. I don't know if, can you two remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Buddy, I've
it
got all the
clearly.
recordings.
Clear as day.
Oh no, it was off air.
Oh, was it? Funny that.
Yeah, I remember it anyway. So
We're going to call it there, lads.
all right,
No,
nice
no,
one.
no.
Before you
Nice seeing you, lads.
You know, it's been grand. Thanks
What have we
everybody
got
for
coming up
listening.
Next week.
What we got coming up next week? We've already mentioned
Yeah.
it. So we've got the actual review of the Alternate Better podcast thus far coming up next week.
That's going to be a lot.
So there'll be some excerpts out of there. There'll be just a little bit of a teaser for you. There'll be Smarty and Jay making fools of themselves over Cooper, saying that he wasn't good enough. There'll be me being a dick over Rafina giving the ball away. Even though I always knew he was a baller, he just frustrated me a little bit. Whereas they were saying that Cooper wasn't good enough, and that's a really different.
We'll
thing.
save it for next week so we can have a big argument, pod argument.
And there's I've already been working on it, and there's some very funny shit in there, Luke. So we'll call it there.
Luke, basically been finding all the best stuff. Don't forget tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
What are you and Carl doing tomorrow?
Oh, yeah,
What's
Carl. Do you
tomorrow
want to
night?
talk about what we're doing tomorrow night?
I've just put it in the group chat there. You can give it a blast, seeing as you're on a roll there. Well, myself and Gilly are. What's the name of the pod again?
Or to know better, we're called, Carl.
Oh yeah, I know ours. You fucking knobs. Anyway,
Football
me and Gilly will be-
focused.
Me and Gilly will be on
Football.
football focused tomorrow
Football
night.
with one L.
We will.
With
Is
a
it some arse fans and some pink and white shite that we're talking to?
It is.
It is,
some,
yeah.
I hope they don't listen to this before we go on tomorrow.
I can't wait to set our stall out early about Rafinha.
It's a transfer. Is it a transfer?
Yeah, but talking about transfer news and stuff.
Yeah, so that's on
Look
at
forward to seeing you
7:45
guys on
tomorrow
that.
night. Yeah,
Absolutely.
7:45 tomorrow night. Check it out.
Yeah,
So some of you'll see them tomorrow. The others you'll see the rest of it at some point over the next week too. I think we're probably gonna pull a couple of podcasts out of our ass for the Euros as well when that starts. So keep your eyes peeled and
look out for
Yeah,
there's one or two interviews coming up as well that we'll try and get in
There is.
before we get to the Euros. So keep an eye out for that. And fingers crossed, it doesn't feel like 5 years before we get to the new season.
Yeah,
It
fingers
will.
crossed. At least we've got hopefully to do a time lapse of the pitch getting done, so we can just continuously watch that. And that might help until the pre-season training videos come out.
And there we go. We're done.
Thanks, lads.